JSON is a very popular format. It is kind of the de facto format for API responses and is very widely used. Oracle Database provides a very robust support of this format in not only storing this format, but also provides easy ways to query and work with this. In this video, we will be focusing on storing it in an Oracle Database table. We will see the various data types which can be used to store it, the various inbuilt constraints Oracle provides to validate this format. We'll also see a brief demo of querying this format, though we'll be just touching the surface. Oracle has tons of built-in operators and ways to effectively query, but maybe that might be the subject of another video. Oracle Database supports the following data types to store JSON data. Our very familiar varchar2 database. Use a limit of 4000 if you know the JSON data would not exceed this length, as it can give you better performance when working with Exadata. Use 32767 when you know the size is within that limit and more than 4000. The first 3.5K of data will be stored online and rest offline. So the added cost of using 32767 instead of 4000 would be only if the size exceeds 3.5K. Otherwise, you will notice little performance difference. If you know the size is greater than 32767, then use blob or clob. Let's talk about the constraints you can specify to indicate JSON documents. In this example, I have three columns: relaxed JSON, strict JSON, and unique JSON as clob or blob types. Is JSON check constraint checks for a well-formed JSON. It is relaxed, so if you do not put double quotes around the key, it will still accept it. Strict, on the other hand, will not accept it and would require you to put double quotes around key. Unique would make sure you do not have duplicate key names. It will become more clear as we go over some examples in the demo. So here, I'm logged in my Oracle Cloud account and attached to the SQL worksheet under Database Actions. You can use SQL Developer Desktop, SQL Plus, or any other tool like Toad, etc. to follow along. Let me maximize it. Let's create a table quizzes with an ID number column and a quiz column, which is varchar2 32767, to hold our JSON document. Create a constraint quiz check as check quiz is JSON to ensure it is a well-formed JSON. Let's run this, and the table is created. Let's now insert a JSON document. So insert into quizzes values 1 for ID, and then let me paste this JSON, which is a JSON document, with the top node as challenge, then a questions node under it, where there is an array of 2 questions, with options as choices. Now let me execute it. The row is inserted. Not to go too deep into it, but let's try to query this JSON document. So select star from quizzes with alias QU, brings the row. Here is our JSON. Let's say select QU.id, QU.quiz, and it brings back the row as before. To get the questions array, put .challenge, .questions, run it, and here we see our array of 2 questions. To get the first question, put bracket 0, as it is 0 indexed, and we see the first question. We can drill further. Let's put .question to get the first question. Run it, and here we see it. So it's very easy to query and work with it. Next, let's see the various constraint types. So create table person with ID number, and the 3 columns as we saw earlier: relaxed JSON blob, strict JSON clob, and unique JSON clob. Put constraints. So constraint relaxed check, check relaxed JSON is JSON. For the strict JSON, we will add a similar constraint with strict at the end, and for the unique JSON, we will have a qualification of with unique keys. Let's create this table. Alright, it's done. Now let's demonstrate the difference in between these constraints. So insert into person ID relaxed JSON values 1, and then the JSON with key name value Tom, another key name with value John. Notice the key name is not within double quotes. Run it, and since it is relaxed, the insert is successful. Let's copy and paste this, and instead of relaxed JSON, insert in strict JSON. Run it, and we see the strict check is violated. Surround the name key in quotes. Run it, and this time it goes through. Let's change it from strict to unique. Run it, and this time the unique constraint fails as the name key is duplicated. Change it to say backup, run again, and it goes through fine. So in this video, we saw the various data types we can use for storing JSON documents, understood the various constraints we can have in place to ensure that the JSON is well formed and to our requirements, and finally we saw a demo to clarify these concepts. Thanks for watching.